Good evening. Spoilers ahead. How do you do homage? Yes, it's one of those question title videos that probably is not going to have a very good answer, but I hope to amuse you. It goes without saying that a well-made movie can make you afraid of anything. Think about it. With Jaws, it was the water. With The Exorcist, it was your attic. With Insidious, it was a red-faced Okay, nothing can make you afraid of Darth Maul's drug addict brother. But if Psycho can make you afraid of anything apart from slowly walking upstairs, it's the shower. Makes sense, right? You have the water running, making it hard to hear. There's a shower curtain covering anyone approaching. Sometimes when you touch it, it weirdly magnetically clings to your body, like some sex offender. And there's also this. I don't know if we're giving a point to humanity or taking one away. Again, what am I saying? Oh yeah, it was one of the reasons, apart from the first toilet to be flushed on film, that made it a classic. It's these kind of movies that, in turn, make modern Hollywood look like some kind of echo chamber of unoriginality and pretentious cheapness. Bold thing to say, but it truly proves how an Englishman like Hitch, sorry, not that one, that's it, could create something flawless and original. But I know what you're thinking and screaming. Hey look, ideas have to come from somewhere and nothing is completely original. Even Darth Maul here is getting his Nosferatu thing on. Well, what I do is close my eyes and point my finger up, and then I say, no, you're missing the forest for the trees. And these trees are made of skill and ambition. What I'm trying to say is, in comparison to directors nowadays, and also screenwriters, they come from a place where they manufacture the old stuff into the new stuff, circulating a lot of tropes and gimmicks, and the stuff you can't get sued over. It's a lot of taking stuff from the old masters, and in the case of Quentin Tarantino, making a shameless career from plain stealing and replication from the films he likes. There's clearly an extremism to this fanboy thing. It makes you think that a lack of imposter syndrome might be a bad thing in Hollywood. This is not just a problem with movies, it's also with television. We probably wouldn't be seeing so many rip-offs. And that brings me back to the master of suspense, and how a true artist really recycles ideas. What they do is something called the homage. It's not mistaken for a tribute or nod. The best way I can describe it is, it's a vision from a vision. And for Psycho, the roots came from the 1955 French classic Diabolique. Apart from both flicks having forgettable remakes, they have such ambition behind them. Diabolique was arguably the beginning of the blending of the thriller and horror together. A combination of genres that's as popular as the rom-com, along with its styles of gothic and film noir. It's the story of a tough-ass principal who becomes the victim of a murder plot by his wife and mistress. Similar to Crime and Punishment, where it's not the slaying that leaves you in suspense, but the will they be caught, creating more of a tenser, deeper view of our characters. That would eventually lead to some of the most chilling imagery out there. It was adapted from a novel of the same name that originally Hitch wanted to make himself, but before he could snatch up the rights, someone got there before he could. It appears from history that he was a fan of the movie, so he wanted to make his own version and use the Psycho novel as a template, like the way Rod Serling can make anything a template for the Twilight Zone, which he would wrap his style around the substance. He wasn't just inspired by that alone, he also was inspired by the Vincent Price version of House on Haunted Hill. You can see it with the low-budget setup, with telling a story with few characters and really one location, including the cheaper use of black and white. And this is where the homage parallels are seen, such as the infamous murder. Think about it. Nay, I'll think about it for you. In Psycho, it's a man killing a woman outside the confines of a tub, while in Diabolique, it's the man killing the woman in the confines of a tub. One of them is a shower, the other is a bath. The whole thing wonderfully hints at its connections, while bombarding us with its visual differences. Like the disposal of a corpse in water, one man-made, the other in nature. The twist of finding someone who is meant to be dead is alive, and vice versa. The story also plays with the detective character differently, as instead of cracking the case, he's one of the victims. It's gruesomely fun stuff like this that leaves such an impression. And like many scary movies, it's being parodied and spoofed in so many comedic ways, even on television. Like a lot of things out there, that's seen as fair use. But in the case of Brian De Palma doing his homage, he would shamefully go on to rip off Norman's story with Dressed to Kill. This would be clear to anyone, even those who aren't film buffs. But before his credibility was killed off, he managed to actually pull off an homage, more in a smartly covert way with Carrie, that has a whole lot of respect for the source. Think about it. A bloody shower scene, someone falling downstairs from a knife attack, those sharp stinging violin sounds that are heard when shit gets real, the whole turbulent mother and child thing that let our sick puppies become somewhat sympathetic monsters. Even the name Bates is the same name as the high school, where the prom massacre takes place. And because it's me and I have to push it, the school symbol was a bee. In the TV movie Psycho 4, it's revealed that Norman's father was stung to death. Is there something there? Who knows? All this is definitely more creative than the so-called evolution that people usually praise. Even though I'm not sure if Jonathan Demme was influenced by Psycho. What do you think this is, a video essay? So I hope you're able to make sense of what I say, and when that screen deja vu gets you down, or that person you know preaches there's only a handful of ideas, just breathe in and say, not really. And if that's not cool, the law guy from Diabolique would make Peter Falk mutate into Columbo. And that humans and Hollywood is how you do homage.